stand for corruption. We won't stand for stealing kids. This is the Tiff and the Punisher podcast, now joined by the angry citizen. This is a powerful trio, set out to spread the Constitution. This is a powerful trio, set out to stop the evil CPS.
We won't stand for corruption, and we won't stand for stealing kids. This is the Tiff and the Punisher podcast, now joined by the angry citizen.
They are taking our kids every day. I shout them in and no one has a thing to say. For those who have been isolated, don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, god damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up like dim tags. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. Give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows and the only games you play are old Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior, and we cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping. Stopping.
Don't look at it.
What are you talking about?
All right, nothing. I don't know where the angry citizen is. I've tried to get in touch with him, but he's MIA.
He might be at work.
I hope he's all right.
Well, yeah, I hope so too, but he might be at work.
It's not like him, though. Hey, Alicia. But that's all right. We can, we'll move forward. He'll hopefully show up here soon. I mean, we can all just sit here and twiddle our thumbs and wait, or we can discuss something.
I thought you were going to play some videos.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to do. Sure was, Tiff. Tiff sent me some videos, and they're pretty much
Disgusting.
right up the alley for what we discussed. Right up the old alley. Let me see here. Tiffany Wise.
I forwarded that bill already.
Oh, did
Yes,
you?
I did.
It's already gone. Did you read it?
No, I got to print it, Darren.
Oh, all right.
It says it's 21 pages.
You know what we need to get you is one of those projections. We need to get you one of those projectors to put it on this TV on the wall so it's bigger.
Yeah.
You know? All right, so we played this yesterday. Which one? Cops rescue 5 kids from the living nightmare inside
Yeah, you
their
can
home?
play any of those. They're like 20 minutes long.
All right.
It's disgusting. I'm telling you, I was ready to go beat these people up.
All right. Well, I guess we'll watch it then. Viewers advised.
Yeah.
We have a ton of people watching too.
Wow.
Here we go.
That you had told the health department about sewage backing up into the house?
Yeah, I haven't been to the health department.
Well, you called or something like that, they said. Or
My
called
phone's
somebody.
off.
Okay. Are you guys having a problem with sewage?
No, the only problem I have with my sewage is my septic tank's crashed in, sir.
Okay.
That's been crashed in for years.
Okay. So is anything happening with the sewage or?
No, my sewage legitimately goes onto the ground. because of my piping. But I don't have any issues with my stuff.
Oh my.
So where's your sewage dump out to?
Underneath the house.
Right here?
Like,
Just straight underneath the house on the ground?
pretty much, yeah. I'll be
Well,
honest with you, I don't know who gave you a call. I'm actually very puzzled, sir.
well, we got the call from the health department because they said that they got a call from the school, and then the school called them, and then somewhere along the lines, somebody that you talked to about this told them or something. So the health department was trying to reach out to make sure that the kids had somewhere proper to use the bathroom and shower and stuff. Do you have water?
I have water, but very low water pressure.
Okay. Are the dogs in the house nice?
I think I know why they need to.
Why is that? Do you mind showing me inside the house?
Absolutely, sir. I have no issues with that.
Why do you think that somebody called?
They did talk to the school yesterday.
And what'd you tell them?
I told them that my kids came to school smelling like musk and mildew, but I apologize. But there is nothing I can do about that. Excuse me, you were really bad.
So, how long has it been this way? Have you guys gone to this? How-
Sorry.
So who have you called? Who have you reached out to about these living conditions?
I actually have a caseworker, Miss Maria. She's told me to call code enforcement. I tried calling code enforcement.
Okay. Who's your caseworker with? What department?
She's. I don't remember what.
Do you have a card or a phone number for her?
I have a phone number for her.
You
Yeah.
want to get that for me?
And I've also dealt with DCF at least
Who have you dealt with?
every year.
Who have you dealt with at DCF?
Checking my solar information.
Yeah, if you have a card for Miss Maria, who does she work for?
Miss Maria.
You guys can't live here. So you know that, right?
Yeah, you're doing it. Oh.
Not needed. Well, we're going to find somewhere, kids. You can't live in all that mold.
Lord.
I mean, your kid,
I know.
that's definitely the newborn. I mean,
I know. Trust me. We've been waiting for a tax return so
that'll,
we
that'll
could do
kill the
something
newborn.
about it.
That'll kill it. I mean, that's, I'll be honest with you. I mean, that house needs to be condemned, all the mold that's in there. There's no recovering from that. That's gonna kill that newborn. I'm surprised that newborn's not sick yet.
Oh, no, she's congested, but thanks to my other manager over here, she watches the baby for me while I work.
Who is she?
Mm-hmm.
Who is she to you?
She's
A manager of what?
at McDonald's.
Is that where you work?
Yes, sir.
McDonald's.
One in the Target Plaza.
Okay. There's these cars run or?
Nope.
What's all in this car? What's all this
Laundry.
dirty laundry? What are you gonna do with it?
I get it washed as soon as actually I get paid today. My caseworker. His number is 646
What's her name?
Marie.
And who's she a caseworker with? Like, what agency is she with?
Unfortunately,
You don't know?
I can't remember because I know her as Marie, and I've been dealing with her for
When was the last time you talked to her?
January 19th.
And what does she do for you guys? Like, what is she supposed to be doing?
She helps us. Basically, if I need help finding another place, she'll look up places and then I'll have to call.
That's all she does?
Pretty much.
How did she get involved with you guys?
It was through. How did she get involved with us? Because I went through 5 caseworkers before I got her.
Okay. Do you know who you've talked to in the past at DCF?
I don't remember her name. I haven't seen her in a little bit, though, so I'm filming.
And DCF's been in the house, though?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
They've been in the house, and I told them we were
Let's start.
trying to get my house
All
We were trying to fix it up and everything else, and they say the same thing. What does the landlord say? Oh, well, the landlord blames us. We don't have a lease.
Do you have that landlord's name or phone number?
Yeah, not right now, honey. I can get the name
That's
for
fine.
you.
Let's start with the names of the kids.
My kids aren't gonna get taken
No,
from me, are
no, listen.
they?
Listen, I got to call DCF because of this, okay? And I'm going to have to do a report, so I have to document who's here, okay? My goal right now is to get you out of this place, okay? Now, if you're telling me if everything you're telling me is true, is that DCF has been here and gone inside this house,
They have been. I swear you. I
and they've seen these
promise.
conditions, and they have not contacted us, to be honest, I'm going to be pissed at DCF because that's not okay for them to leave you in here. Okay, and if you've made any kind of,
I have.
if you've been making some kind of progress to get out of here or improve this, then I don't see where you would be legally, a legal side of that. But if I go and I find out that DCF hasn't been here and that they haven't been here in a while and all this, and there's not been improvement or attempt to make improvement, like you said, then it's a problem. You're responsible for these children. You're responsible for where they sleep and put their heads at. This is not an acceptable place.
No, I
I mean, this isn't healthy for adults, let alone a newborn.
no, I
Okay.
understand that.
But I can tell you right now that my goal right now is not looking at the criminal side of this. Okay? That's where we're at now.
No, I
All
promise
right?
you, DCF's been out here. I'm not gonna tell you no bullshit or anything
No.
like that.
Okay, what about the father to Jasmine and Michaela?
Michaela's father's somewhere around here this damn state. Jasmine's father lives in New York.
Okay. Where does Nicholas work?
McDonald's.
That's where he's at now.
Yeah.
How does he get back and forth to work?
We have one of the crew members or the other manager
Because you guys ride?
pick him up and stuff, no different than me.
Okay.
I've been waiting for my tax return to come in so I can get a working vehicle again.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he's not getting the tax return.
Do you guys get food assistance?
Yes, sir.
How much is that a month?
My food stamps comes in at $9.72 a month.
Okay.
I have witnesses. I have a lot of witnesses over this house.
Do you guys pay separate power or is it all part of your rent?
No separate power. The water is free because it's raw water out here. We pay for rent, electric, and internet.
Okay. All right. Do you have a working phone? Does the phone number work?
As of today, it will be up and working.
What is the phone number when it works?
My phone number is 38.
Okay. All right, I gotta get in my car and make some phone calls. Okay, so if I need anything else, come knock on the door. More than likely, DCF's gonna have to come back out here today and get some kind of plan in motion. Something's got to happen today. That's got to be put on paper that something's changing because that can't happen. Whether it's the shelter or DCF putting you guys in a hotel, I don't know what they're gonna do. Who have you talked to at code enforcement?
I ended up talking to a lady, and when I told her that there was mold in the house and stuff like that, that I needed somebody to come out and look, she, basically I was told that there was nothing they could do.
When was this?
This was, oh, a few months ago.
Was it over the phone or emails or?
It was over the phone, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you from here on out, if you don't, you need to document everybody you're talking to in emails.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir.
All right, I'll be with you in a little bit. Are any of the kids currently sick right now besides you? You said which one was coughing this morning?
My daughter Michaela's
Michaela.
been coughing. My son Damien's been coughing. My baby girl's congested.
Have anyone been to the doctors or anything like that?
We've all been to the doctors.
And what are they saying?
The usual, you got the stomach virus going on, or you either got the flu, or
All right.
that's about it.
All right. All right. You want to go say goodbye to your kids?
Are you picking the other two up at school?
Yes.
Yes, DCF will handle
So
that.
I'm not going to be able to say goodbye to my other two?
Yeah.
Not right now. But you're gonna see them.
Oh my god. She's old enough. There is no law in the state of Florida that states what age they cannot be left at home.
Okay. But 12 is not okay to be left alone to take care of a 3-year-old, especially in a condition of that house. You have buckets full of water that 3-year-old could fall and drown in. You have holes in the ground that kid could fall and hurt himself, break a leg, not to mention the 12-year-old hurting and breaking your leg. Listen, there's a lot going on here, I understand.
You guys are taking my children away from me.
No, listen. The fact that I was here earlier today and told you I was coming back with DCF and certain people, and I came back and you weren't here and the kids were left alone, that's a felony that happens in our presence. We don't have the ability to say she's getting help and she's doing the right steps. We don't have the ability to say
So
that.
this is
It's that incident combined with the lack of action. Hold on, stay over here. It's that combined with the lack of action over the period of time of the deterioration of the house and the living conditions for these children.
Okay. She said yes. I need his date of birth. You need his date of birth and social, and then the address. Okay, so he's can we get the
All right,
address?
let's walk over to my car.
Or don't have it. Okay, so he's gonna answer the phone.
Hands on your back for me. You have any weapons or anything on you? Nothing hidden anywhere? Hidden handcuff key, no hidden drugs?
no.
Nothing else? Alright, you got a seat right there.
You see.
What schedule do you work? You work nights? And Nick works days?
Yes.
So Nick watches the kids while you're...
Yes.
Which kids is Nick the biological father of?
Damien and Laura.
And Laura?
Yes, he's on the birth certificate as well for Aiden.
Aiden, that's the one that's in there. Alright. Here's... I gotta talk to you for a minute, Nick. Alright, I'm Deputy Grand Sheriff's Office, okay? We're calling here today about some issues with the sewage in the house. We've been here all day. We've been in and out of the house. We talked to the kids. DCF is now here. Based off everything, based off this house, you and Tiffany are going to be arrested today for child neglect. All right? Do you have anything in your pockets that can't go to the jail? Okay. I was going to say that, if anything. What else? That's it. I think. All right. All right, go ahead and put your hands behind your back for me. Like that. The kids are going to be taken by DCF tonight. All right. We'll be sheltered over the weekend, Monday. You and Tiffany will have to show up to court. DCF will show up to court. I'll probably show up to court. Kids will be there. But we're all going to sit down in front of a judge and go over what's been going on. Okay. Because you and I both know this didn't happen overnight. This has been going on.
It's been like this for a little bit.
Yeah.
The dude won't fix nothing.
Okay, I understand. I understand that to a point. But that's not a suitable condition for any child.
If I could afford
Especially
something else,
an
believe
infant.
me, man, I would.
An infant. All right, Nick, you want to talk to me? I'm going to read you your rights, okay? You have the right to remain silent and you say maybe use evidence against you. You talk to an attorney, have him or her with now anytime during questioning. If you're not a foreign attorney, will be appointed to represent you. Anytime we stop talking, have attorney present, all questions stop at your request. Do you understand those rights, Nick? Okay. How long has that mold been that bad in the house?
Since we moved in.
And when was that?
We moved in about 4 years ago.
And how long has that sewage been dumped raw underneath the
That
house?
was like not even a year after we
Moved in?
moved in. That thing caved in.
All right.
Like I
What's
said,
the running
guy-
water? What's the running water situation in the house?
All three run off that pump.
So minimal.
It can be good some days, bad others. The hot water doesn't really last worth a crap
Right.
in ours because the
what
heater's
if-
not very big.
Now, what about Michaela's medicine? And when's the last time she got any of her mental health medicine? Are you aware she needs a year? Do you care for all the kids in the house?
Yes.
Okay, your father figured all of them. Which kids are biologically yours?
Biologically is Laura there, the baby, and Damien Carter.
Okay.
And then I'm on the birth certificate for 8. You're good.
So I talked to Michaela earlier, and she said frequently she is left home by herself or with other kids to watch these kids while you and the mom are home. And tell her to lock the doors. Is that something?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we had done before, but it hasn't really been done since because we have a switch.
She did it today.
We have a
while
switch
we were
on,
here.
Switch on shifts,
Okay.
basically.
Okay. So you guys are both going to go to the jail for the same charge. You'll see the judge in the morning, and he'll go over your bond and first appearance and stuff like that if you guys aren't able to bond out. And then if you
I
do,
can't bond out unless I can go cash my check.
and then Monday, I'm sure it'll be Monday, maybe Tuesday, will be the court hearing with the judge, DCF, the kids, us, and all that. And they'll decide whether the kids need to be put somewhere until a plan can become together for things to improve. This house is going to be condemned on Monday by the building inspector for the county. He was already here, looked at the house, no doubt about it. He's closing it down Monday. If it's not fixed by the actual property owner within so many days, he's bulldozing it. I mean, the dogs were surrendered to Humane Society because they're still being penned up without shelter. So that's just where we're at. All right. Any questions? I mean, do you think the kids have been given adequate care, shelter, mental health?
Well, care and
Physical health?
everything, we do, like I said, the best we can as far as like the living conditions go. I can't do nothing with that guy as far as getting anything fixed. He wants me to fix it all. I mean, I was a contractor at one point, but I'm not licensed or anything else, so I'm not supposed to be doing none of the work.
Have you guys looked into moving anywhere? I mean, there's government housing.
We've looked to move all over the place. Nothing else affordable for us. That's the only reason why we've been stuck here.
How often do you guys get paid?
Bi-weekly.
How much do you guys bring home bi-weekly?
Right now, I'm sitting at about $1,300 right there, just in those checks.
So you guys each get total, you bring home
That's
$1,300?
total for both of ours, about 13.
Bring home? Take home?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's got 700 and something on hers.
And how much do you guys get in food stamps?
Last I know it's something.
All right. You gonna take them for me?
She already.
I appreciate it. Yeah. She's already in my car, but she'll be at the jail at the same time. All right.
Whoa.
Did it freeze?
Wow. Well,
I would be kicking that fucking landlord's ass right now, okay?
shit, do you think? I mean, you feel bad for them, but on the same hand, come on. Look, I used to do that work for a living. I was a biorecovery technician. That's what they call me. And I'd clean up hoarding houses. And you know what? It's very easy to fall into the mold and the hoarding, the trash, the things like that. 2 bags turn into 4 bags, 4 bags turn into 8 bags. You don't have anybody with a car, and you know what I mean? And then next thing you know, it's all out of control. They didn't show us what the inside of that building looked like, but based on her just coming out and choking and hacking and gagging, it must have been pretty damn horrid. There's no excuse for that. None whatsoever. But it's crazy because what people don't realize are those situations are a mental thing. That's not people that are sane don't live in deplorable conditions. It doesn't. If they get too out of control, they leave them. They will just walk away from them. They can't do that. Those are people that need mental health. Clearly, they had a caseworker supposedly, or looked like such as, or the DHS had inspected it, and I wouldn't doubt it. I don't doubt it one bit. Those kids they probably deemed as unadoptable, so they weren't going to help those people. That's probably exactly what happened. That's exactly what took place there, and that's what goes on in this country. Nope, those kids are not adoptable. They're probably riddled with disease and asthma. They're going to be in the hospitals. They're going to be because mold is nothing to mess with. Mold will destroy your immune system. Mold will it's bad, bad, bad stuff. Um, but those kids were probably they already knew that they were in fact damaged goods. So guess what? No help for you. You know, it's unfortunate. It is, but like I say all the time too, when was the last time you saw DHS pull up in the projects? You don't see that. There's a whole minefield of kids that they could take from a project, but they're not going to because those kids are damaged goods in their eyes. They're not adoptable. So they're not going to help them. So these poor people, if that's true what she was saying, and we got to go by what she said because we have no reason to believe that she was lying. But
And that's true in most cases. Everything she said is true in most cases.
yeah, and like it sucks. It sucks for like we were right about the landlord. Why wasn't the landlord? I mean that those conditions have been like that for a year, or they became like that a year after they got there.
4 years, 4 years for the mold, 3 years for the sewer or pump, whatever it was. And the only reason CPS
Right.
went out there is because the police called them.
Right, but because of that, before that, the school had called them.
No, the
Right, the
school
school called
called
them,
the
and
police department. And I'm going to tell
right,
you why I think they called the police department, because I believe her when she says she's gone through 5 caseworkers and the CPS had been out there. I believe that. And you're right. They did not remove them because they were damaged goods. And now they can't look stupid in front of the police department, right? When the police calls them out, now they have to go and do something because now the police are involved.
right, right. Everyone's scared of the big bad men in badges.
I'm not afraid of them.
Wow.
Renee says she needs a link.
I know you're not, Jeff. You're 1 in 1 million, 2 million, three, whatever it is. But hey, Renee was wanting to come
Well,
out here.
bring her in.
Let's bring Renee in here. Renee, I'm going to throw the link up here for you.
And I also saw that somebody is trying to get in touch with us. Hold on.
Yeah, Catherine, right?
There's a student named Amber who has urged us to contact her with stories because the Parental Rights Foundation is compiling stories to present to the DC lawmakers. So whoever
All
Amber
right.
is, I guess get Darren the
Yeah.
information to contact her, and let's bring her on, or let's talk to her, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, whatever we got to do to fill that one in.
Because that parental rights,
Tiff, I was impressed by your reading right there. That was very
yeah,
good.
well, that's only because I'm up on it.
Oh, all right.
Um,
High level. Renee, I just put the thing in there for you, the link.
yeah,
So let's hear what Renee has to
yeah.
say.
Let's hear what Renee has to say. Now,
Renee, all right, Renee's in the house.
I watched a couple of those stories, and they literally were making me mad.
Yeah, well, that one would just make me mad
You
right
should
there.
see the other ones.
All right, here's Renee, everybody.
All right, so
Renee, what's up?
so I have my review hearing in the morning.
That's right. What happened?
Well, tomorrow morning. Now I
Okay.
finally talked to my attorney today, and she's on the same page with me and my fiance. Like the kids, like there's been nothing but in the beginning. I did comply with the agency, like I tried, and then but even my drug and alcohol counselor, like everybody in that building, they're like, they set you up to fail.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing XYZ. And then as soon as I would get like 2 steps ahead, they would make sure to fuck with me and put a roadblock up any chance they could, any way they could. And so basically, like I told Danielle, like I didn't know, I had spoken with one of the cops from our town that I know real well. And I asked him because on the day that they took my kids, which they only had a court order for my son.
Kidnapped, as Dana would say. If he
Yeah.
was here, he'd
Well,
be yelling at
actually,
you.
yes, they did kidnap my daughter for sure.
Yeah.
So when they showed up, like this is the second time dealing with them, but and it was the same lying piece of shit caseworker from the first time. And as soon as he didn't even get my name out of his mouth, and I said, "Fuck you, get the fuck off my property. You are a fucking lying piece of shit."
Yes,
I said, "Nope." He
that's right.
says, there was a call made in. He says, "I need a drug test." I said, "I don't give a fuck what you need. Go get a warrant, go get a court order, get the fuck out of here." And so he says, "Well, if you're going to refuse to do it, then you're positive. So I need to take the kids." I said, "The fuck? What the fuck do you mean you're how?" And so I'm not thinking that, because actually, if you refuse to do a urine for them, they automatically are able to put it down as you're positive.
But they're not supposed to. Codes and all their own regulations. It's not supposed to hinder you. It's not supposed to hinder you of false positive. But anyway, they do it.
Yeah. So they have another company, another agency that works for them and does like the supervised visits and stuff. And the caseworker that came with the CYS worker that day was the same bitch that was on my case and went straight to my sister's case, which for the whole time with CYS, which in the beginning, the first time with them, we got our kids back within 6 months. The judge commended us because we were the first people in Armstrong County to ever get our children back in that short amount of time.
Good.
So, she ended up being my sister's worker, and she threatened my niece and nephew, said she was going to send them to a detention center, whether the mom and dad refused or not, and my niece ended up cutting herself, tried suicide and everything. So over 2 years, CYS and this other agency have been in my sister's life. So I ratted her out to her supervisor, which at the time I did not know that CYS pays these fucking people. They signed their checks. I had no fucking idea.
Mhm.
So when I ratted her out and she showed up with the CYS worker, she didn't say a word to me. I already knew that there's ill feelings. I don't give a shit. I said, my sister is a crackhead. I said that will do anything and everything, but nothing for those kids. I said they can talk to her however the hell they want to. And so she was allowed in my mother's house. I went up to my mom's, and my sister was there at my mom's at the time. So I consider that a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
But so she was allowed to observe me because my mom's like, "You have 2 witnesses here. Go ahead, do the test." And I said, "Fuck it." Went outside. Of course, they were still there. I said, "Come on up." I said, now I said probably, possibly 2 things would show up, and that would be marijuana and Suboxone. Suboxone, I literally was just getting off of. I said, I don't drug test myself every day. I don't know if it'll show up. So they got a clean urine. She took it out to him. He had to stay on my mom's porch. And then she actually brought him into my mother's house. And when he said, good news, bad news, I said, well, that's not a fucking shock. He says, good news is it's negative. Bad news is you told me 2 things would show up. I said, no. I said, maybe, possibly, don't know. Don't fuck with my words, you liar. So he got loud with my mom, and then my mom threw him the fuck out, and he said that he was coming back with a court order to take my kids. Now, I wasn't even home at the time, and with me being an addict, I already knew they were taking my kids. So I went and I got high.
Right.
I said, fuck it.
Yeah.
Me sober, I'm not compliant at all. So my mom called me and she says, well, there's 2 cops here and the CYS worker. And my daughter was in school at the time. So they actually filed for a court order to remove my son. They totally forgot that I had a daughter. Out of sight, out of mind, my fiance said.
Right.
I showed up to the house, wanted to look at it. The cops were there. Now, when I was told by the cop, he says that they are only there for their protection. Nothing else. I said, well, he was by himself. I said, well, then she should have had to have filed a report. There was a female and a male. And he says, yes. I said, well, if she's only there for the protection, I said, why did I have to piss again? And she made sure to look at my privates and shit before I got on that toilet. He says, no, we're there just for their protection. I said, then why did she do it when I didn't know? I don't know the laws and shit. And when I finally looked at the
Right.
court order, it doesn't even ask me to take another urine. It was just to remove my son. So my daughter got home before I had showed up to my mom. So they did kidnap my daughter. You had no fucking court order to take her. And she was in school. My son was in my mom's care at the time. And the first go around, my mom had my kids. They gave my kids to my mom in the same house, same situation. Just 2 years later, though, now her finances aren't good enough. And they lied and said that she would not configure her house to them because now my son is 3 and my daughter's 8. So anyways, they have been fucking with me just this whole fucking time because my old caseworker, we made her look like a rock star. So now she's a supervisor. And she picked up our case. And so that's actually favoritism. And the 33-year-old that is my caseworker that has no kids, nieces and nephews and dogs or whatever, she knows what's best for my kids. But every time she would go into the foster home or up to my sisters in the beginning, she's like, I don't see that when I'm there. I said, you don't fucking see anything. You see nothing. And so I got to the point where I was tired of being lied to. I was tired of her belittling me and shit. So you can only push me so far before I start opening my mouth. And so the one hearing, I had gone into rehab, inpatient, never did it in my life. And they all told me that, why would you do that? I said, well, what do you mean? That's what they want. They said, yeah, but that means when you get out, they tell you it's not street time clean. It's not enough street time clean. And that's how they terminate your rights, is while you're in rehab.
Wait, say that again? They say what?
They terminate your rights while you're in rehab.
Right, but you said before that. What did you say?
Because they do. If you do inpatient, they can say at the next hearing that you don't have enough street time clean.
Well, so according to the Substance Abuse Act and everything, they're supposed to have your kids with you if you go to an inpatient program. That's what they're supposed to be doing.
That's what I thought. And I didn't know that any of these places existed. I'd never been in inpatient. And I had said it multiple times. I said, I will not do inpatient. I kicked heroin back in the day, fucking 14 years clean. I said, I can do anything. I said, you were taking my kids. I got high because you were taking my kids.
Right.
So when we got to the hearing and I asked her about it and I said, don't fucking lie to me. I said, will you say that it is not street time clean? And she's like, well, I said, do not fucking lie to me. The guardian ad litem says, yes, we can say that. I said, okay, then why the fuck would I go into inpatient if it's not street time clean? I'm not playing this game.
Right.
So, since November, they were supposed to be looking into my mom to get my kids with her, but they denied her, and they made sure to wait because now, the kids are in a foster care with the same sex couple. I was supposed to have a review hearing back in June. It even states it on their fucking paperwork, June 2nd. But never got it. So then, our daughter's biological father, the whole time he had said he wants nothing to do with it, wipes his hands clean. All of a sudden, his attorney decides that she wants a continuance. And I said, what the fuck? So then, of course, I'm freaking out because now he's going to try and do something and want to see her and shit. And that's a trauma that didn't need to be brought up. Now, they asked about my daughter seeing a therapist, and I said, okay to it. And this was back before she left my sister's because I thought my sister was taking both my children. She only took my daughter. So we don't speak. Got her out of there. And then that's when they put her and my son in the same-sex home, which before that they said about 2 gay guys, and me and my daughter said no. They didn't tell me about these women before they put my children there. And then I didn't know it either that I guess they're kin to my children because they're related. It's my brother-in-law's cousin. And they have been married forever. My niece has never even met this bitch. I said, I don't know her. I've never even heard her name. And so now the paperwork that I have now for this hearing tomorrow, they already lied. They spoke with my drug and alcohol counselor. Back in March, they wanted everything, but May, I decided I was only doing once a week. I said, can we move it to twice a week to show my, progress and that I'm serious about recovery and staying sober? And she says, yeah, that's fine. So they stated that I started it in March, even though the paperwork from my drug and alcohol counselor says I only started the twice a week in May. They're already trying to lie on the paperwork that I've missed so many. And then if I miss the one in person, that I don't get drug tested again for 2 weeks. I said, where the fuck does that come off of? I said, I get drug tested every week. Eyes on. I take pictures of the fucking cup. So the only positive that I've had was a 0.5 milligram of THC in March. Other than that, all my drug tests have been clean, other than Suboxone, which I have a prescription for. I have not seen my kids in 2 months now. They filed a motion to try and terminate my visitations with my daughter because I don't lie to her. I tell her everything. And they've been trying to break the bond. My son went to that home in September, my daughter in October. In November, I found out that my son was calling them mom. It was supposed to be corrected.
Yeah.
This is the shit that would work me up. So on video chats, it wasn't being corrected. She's sitting right there talking to my son while he's calling you mom. You are not correcting it. Yeah, I'm going to snap the fuck out. You are not a mom. My daughter told me, because one is 29 and the other one's 50. She says, that just blows my mind. I said, I wanted to say, well, that's called the pedophile. But, so the judge signed off that the visits were to continue, but CYS regulation is 2 times a month. And that is even the rights on our children's paper that states their rights. They are allowed to see and talk to their family every other week. That motion went in June 3rd, and I hadn't seen my kids in person since May 29th. I didn't get the paperwork until it was sent out the 25th of June, got it the 26th, and still, so the judge states they are to continue, but never happened. So I've been freaking out trying to get a hold of my attorney. Like, are you going to hold them in contempt? Like, you signed this. The regional office told me it is law, that it's their regulations and it's the law. Yes, 2 times a month. That is the amount. I said, I haven't seen my kids. I said, oh, video. I seen my son on the June 16th and my daughter and my son June 9th. Other than that, nothing. I have texted these bitches and asked, how are my kids? Nothing. They had put it in child appropriate, that they said they are foster moms. So it's okay if my daughter calls them mom. When my daughter told me that she called them mom, like, it hurts when my son does it. But when my daughter told me she calls them mom, sometimes I broke at the visit. I wanted to puke. I wanted to hit my knees. I couldn't even look at my kid. I was broke. And when she noticed, then she was like, it's by accident, but she knows she wants to come home. Like, they want to come home. And even our son, like, he doesn't even want to leave his school at times. And he says, I go see mommy and daddy. No, buddy, it's time to go home. And he doesn't want to. And I have made reports to the child line. My son looked like he got hit by a fucking car on his right side. And they couldn't even keep their lives straight for a doctor's visit, that his leg was severely swollen for 3 days. And he was waking up in the middle of the night crying and saying that it hurts. I had warned them that he has high tolerance to pain. And even the 29-year-old works at a Clarion hospital, a registered nurse, but you waited 4 days to get my son looked at. I would have had my rights terminated right there. So I know that, like, the last hearing was March 7th, and I guess after the hearing, I walked back into the courtroom, and got into Athena, the supervisor's face of CYS, and I said, why don't you fucking tell the judge the truth? What resources you give us? Because everything that we got, the apartment, jobs, the drug and alcohol we do, we have done it all on our own. And I get the judge was saying that's enough of that, and then my mom told me that I told him fuck you, and I whipped him off. So I'm gonna apologize when I first talk tomorrow. I do know that that's the first best thing to do. But like I'm at the point where if they don't come home tomorrow, what the fuck is the point? Like, because I have done everything. I have the facts to lay out to this judge. Like, you have been reading all the shit that she lies about and they lie about. I have everything. And like, even the agency during the supervised visit says that undoubtedly the bond with our children is huge. Huge.
So what did your lawyer say?
She said that what she wants to do is basically, so it's not like taking accountability for my actions, because like literally I have been a saint until the most recent bullshit and not seeing my daughter and shit, and I did call them disgusting pig fucking lesbians. Other than that, it has been, just what the fuck? Like, you take my videos from me, you take my visits, so you get me riled up, you trigger me. And she said, so basically, like, yes, I can admit to that, but this is why. Every time I was doing good and doing this happened. She's like, so yes, we're gonna put it out to him and be like this. They should have been home a long time ago. I said, they should have never been fucking taken. I said, because even when I got high, I wasn't anywhere near my kids. So where's the imminent danger? Where's the neglect? Where's the abuse?
How long have they been gone and how old are they?
My daughter's 8 and my son is 3, and they've been gone since April 17th of last year, so 15 months. But they're saying they added 6 months onto my case as accumulated time. Nobody has ever told us yet how they can do this.
I've never heard of that. And I've been doing this 36 years. I've never heard of that. The only way they can do that is when they start to take away your visits, right? Because now they want to alienate you because the 3-year-old is adoptable.
They already put them in it was already a pre-adoptive home. And the caseworker had said to me, well, that happens eventually anyway. Eventually. It shouldn't be happening now. My fiance looked it up and he says that technically they don't put kids in a pre-adoptive home until like the 22-month mark and termination of the parental rights. But they said it is kind of true, but not true, because it gets to the point where they would rather put them in a pre-adoptive home so that if it comes to that point, they're not taking them from another foster care and moving them to another one, since they've already been there long enough to and have a bond. I said, they shouldn't be there to have a fucking bond. I said, that's the whole fucking point. Like, there's no, like, these bitches have been, and they have taken our children out of fucking state. I said, what are you doing? Why? And why wasn't I notified? And it interfered with visits. Like, the regional fucking supervisor said that that's not allowed. So why is it being allowed? I said, but I look like I'm fucking crazy. And that, like, my fiance in the beginning and my mom thought that I was dramatic, that I was just, I was just pissed off, and whatnot. When we seen this lawyer in Butler, and I was telling him some stuff, and I said, listen, sir, I understand that this sounds crazy. He says, honey, no, it doesn't. It's happening everywhere. I fucking started crying. I said, finally somebody fucking believes me. I said, understand, like, my fiance finally got to the point where he was like, what the fuck? I said, I've been telling you what they're doing, what they've been doing to me. And it's nonstop. I said, so I'm at the point where literally I'm going to just fucking beat the shit out of them and go to jail, because I fucking, at least I'll get some kind of release.
Well, don't do that. Don't do that because that's what they want. Really, that's what they want. They want to be like, see, she can't control her emotions. See, she's unstable. She's this, she's that. Don't do that. Trust me. Trust me. Huh, huh. Trust me when I tell you, when I went to prison, that's when they respected me.
Yeah.
Ain't that right, Darren?
That is absolutely right, 100%.
Because I
What
didn't
I
go
had a
for
question
being a
for you. What'd you say the
marshmallow.
ages of your kids were?
3 and 8.
Yeah,
What,
3 and 8.
3 and 8,
Yeah.
right?
And honestly, I don't think they want our son because the young girl is after now. And this is what's funny too is like she has taken our son to a known user dealer daily by needle twice. Now the girl, I feel like I talked to her, I was like, oh, same last name, are you related, and she's like, I met your son twice. Yeah, they came down late, Celeste needed some eyeliner, they were going to dinner. I never met your daughter because supposedly she was bad and grounded at the house. They said, what? I said, mm-mm. And the trauma therapy, they also put on this paperwork that the trauma therapy is because of my inappropriate behaviors. That started back in December when I was still complying with these motherfuckers. They said, don't you dare put that on me. Because
They
then they brought up to my daughter about her biological father, which that trauma was squashed. It was squashed. And why would you bring it up to her? Like,
because
I don't,
that's the whole point to keep traumatizing them and
Right.
to make you look like the bad person.
yeah, yeah. And I said, and I'm not, I said, because nobody, no teacher, no doctor, nobody has ever voiced concern that my daughter should be in therapy. I said, not until I said, actually, this is the second time being in CYS custody that my daughter had to go see a fucking therapist. I said, so I don't know who's got the fucking problems.
Well, they need her
Wow.
to have those problems because that's how they collect more money.
That's what I told my fiance because he's like, no, because they have to have special needs and stuff. I said, our son has speech therapy because he had an ear, kept getting ear infections. I said, so then the young lesbian was trying to teach him sign language instead of teaching him to pronounce his letters. You tell him to do it and he does it. He was saying, I thought he was saying damn it all the time. He was saying Cameron. I was like, what the fuck? So everything that and my daughter would tell me stuff. Oh, well, he's sucking on his thumb. I said, who said that? And she's like, well, that's what they said, and he's learning it from school. Nope. Our son is the sweetest, most compassionate little boy in the fucking world. He picks up the toys for the handicapped kids in his class
Oh,
to give them to play with. He gives everybody a hug. He is so involved. And the teacher even said, she's like, he is so progressing and loves to learn that I recommend putting him in pre-K for 5 days a week. She's like, and if anything, it gets him away from that house longer and more. I said, no,
And he's 3.
yep.
He needs to come give Cairo some lessons.
He is, he's amazing. Like he is, but now the one time, and I know it was because of whoever the hell he was at play dates with. My son wasn't listening during one of the visits, and he literally, I picked him up to walk him down the hallway back to the room, and he put his hands around my fucking throat. My 3-year-old. I said, "What the fuck is this?" I said, "And where did you learn this from? Because you watch Thomas the Train. You don't even watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles anymore." I said, like both his hands right around my neck. I said, "What the fuck?" Everything that we have brought up, um, they don't allow our children to play together with each other's toys because my 8-year-old will go backwards. I said, "This is why the fuck you're in parenting classes, but it still ain't working."
wow.
Well, I want to say this to you tomorrow. For tomorrow, look for a continuance because sometimes judges want to look over stuff and will write up an order and do something. I think they have, well, in Virginia, they have 30 to 45 days to come up with a decision. So don't walk out of there if they don't make a decision tomorrow. Don't fly off the handle. You wait till you get home and you scream and cry and do whatever you're gonna do. You don't do it in front of them. But don't be surprised if that happens, because the judge might seriously, after your testimony, and your lawyer seriously might want to look at some of the evidence that and testimony that you gave.
Right.
Renee,
that's
have you
what-
checked your files? Have you checked your court files to make sure everything that you need is in there?
Yeah, because I even printed out papers, like they do documentation at the supervised visits, and it shows where I am patient with my children. We have a bond with our children. We are great with them. I expressed how much I truly love my children. I said I have highlighted all that shit so that they can see, because they say about my temper and this and that. I said I don't give a shit. Yes, I do have a temper. I said, but I will kill and die for my kids. I'm
Right.
allowed to have a temper when it comes to my children, and you're fucking with my kid.
Yep.
Well, that's one of your human rights. You're allowed to have emotions, whether they like it or not.
Yeah, they expect me not to. They would, and my daughter, she would want to try and tell me something. We would talk about stuff, and they said no. They would shut it down. They would say, or the visit stops. I said, excuse me? I said, my niece was molested in foster care. I said, if there's something going on and my daughter needs to tell me, she's going to fucking tell me. I said, she's like, well, I told him a million times, like, what's the rules? What are we not allowed to talk about? And then finally, the new, like, worker says, you're just not allowed to say their name. I said, I haven't been saying their fucking names for a long time. I said, the foster care. I said, what the fuck? I said, everybody has, and that's the thing, is they don't want you knowing anything. And
Listen, I had a judge tell me one time that she didn't like the way that I conversated with my children. And this is what I told her. You are not God, and you are not my child, and I will talk to my children any way I damn well please. And if they ask me a question, I'm going to answer them honestly, whether you like it or not.
Right. That's the guardian at Liam. Like, I have the recording too. And she says to me, well, you know, it's okay for kids to have more than one mom. I said, no, it isn't. I said, I said,
No, it's not at all.
I said, when the mother's still in the picture, I said, they're not mothers. They did not give birth. I said, I don't give a shit. Anybody, listen, you can love a kid, but when you give birth to a child, you have that child in you. You are already bonding. You like gave birth to that child. That mother, that maternal instinct, like, I will fight and I will kill and I will back up any child because I have a child. I know that pain of not having them around. I said, now they have never had any kids. I said, they never adopted any. I said, they were pissed off because I showed my daughter that it's foster parent, resource family, or caretaker. I said, just because they are female does not mean that they are mom. They are not foster mom. They are not foster dad.
Right.
I said, so, and she
Yep.
said, well,
Dana, what's your...
What?
No, go ahead.
she had said,
I was going to ask Dina what he thinks about this whole when they ask because this happens a lot. Now you can't blame it on the little kids because they're just trying to go into their survival mode. But do you think that these foster parents should coax along these kids, calling them mom and dad, or do you think it should be put to rest immediately? What's your thoughts on that, Dana?
Pretty 100% in the court of hell no, you don't get to suddenly tell a child you're going to call this new person mommy. I think the whole thing is just designed to alienate children from their parents, and I think we all know that that's what's going on. It's their bullshit premise that, you know, all we're caring for children, which we all know is false. We say this every week on the cast. You know, they're talking about how they're there to quote unquote protect, and how many people have we heard tell us their children were harmed in a foster care environment, sometimes by the foster care providers themselves. So it's a giant, stinking, heaping pile of hypocrisy.
Yep. I love
Pisses me off.
That's it.
Yeah, and they can't get around the statistics, right? Because the statistics are very clear. 600 times more likely to be abused, sexually assaulted, or murdered in foster care.
Yep. That's why, like 2 months
So what's your,
talking to them or seeing them, I'm waiting for my phone to ring, and every time it does, I'm thinking it's somebody calling to tell me they're hurt or dead.
That's tough.
It is tough.
There's no
And
easy
stop crying,
solutions.
because we're
There's
both
no
going to be
easy.
on here crying.
There's no easy way, to deal with what you're dealing with. The tools you have available to you are few, but here's what you got to do. And you may know this, but you got to keep very meticulous records. Always keep meticulous records. Every conversation, every interaction, everything they say to you. Get it on video if you can. If it were me, I wouldn't even tell the fuckers I was recording them. Okay, you don't owe them that. Record them secretly. Good. Okay. And at the end of the day, in order for us as a collective group, parents, okay, even those of us that haven't had our children kidnapped by CPS, have to get on the same page that we are collectively not going to allow this to happen, not because it is the system is flawed, etc., which is legitimate, but because it is unlawful. It is unconstitutional. Agents do not have authority. The government does not have the ability to simply take and create an agency and say, we authorize you to go steal children from their parents, because they don't have the authority to do it. We accept it because it's happening. It happens all around us. The police accept it. The judges accept it. The lawyers accept it. Everyone acts like it's normal, okay? But it's not. It's like a Monty Python movie. Those of you who've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, they don't have horses in this King Arthur legend. They're just doing this. They've got their hands like this, and they're bobbing up and down, and someone's smacking coconuts together. And in the movie, everyone acts like it's normal until someone comes out and goes, wait a minute, you don't have a horse, right? That's where we are. We're watching these people do these things, and everyone's acting like it's normal. It's sort of normal now because they've made it normal, but what it is not lawful. They can't come to your house and say, I'm going to take your child, which is kidnapping, and we need to stop using their terms. Kidnapping. Kidnapping is a federal offense, a felony, and it should be. And even if you accepted the premise was valid, even if we could prove that the children were being put into an environment which is safe, let's say there was no abuse going on, it's still not lawful. You cannot take a child away from the parent. That is kidnapping. That's where I stand. So keep your records, meticulous records. And what we all need to start doing is we all need to start using the power of the affidavit, which I'm going to get into next week, Darren, a little bit more about this, because an affidavit is one of the most powerful lawful tools that we the people possess. It is a sworn statement of fact made under penalty of perjury. And what it does is it eliminates all their bullshit and their lies and their deceit. It leaves them only one card to play. At the end of the day, I submit that affidavit, and you have two choices. You either rebut it, or it stands as fact in a court of law. It doesn't mean you'll get justice in a court of law, but your chances go way up, and the people that are fucking with you know that you know what you're doing, and that you're not going to go down lightly. So affidavits are incredibly powerful, and we the people need to use them more. You send one when those so-called CPS workers come to your house. You document everything that happened. You send them an affidavit, and if they're doing something that's unlawful, tell them right in the affidavit, what you've done is unlawful. Tell them you don't have authority to take my child, and make them prove that they do, and they can't because they don't.
That's what the lawyer had told me, because he's actually working on a case right now where literally this little girl was taken from her parents just because they wanted this girl. Nothing. She got her rights terminated, everything. $50,000. The girl is very smart, 14 years old. Hold on them. But he's been working on it. He says they're not just going to tell me and admit to paying that to the caseworker. Just they liked this girl, the way she looked, never had CYS in their lives before, nothing. Literally just out of the blue, just that one kid, and fucking a CYS worker did it. I was like, what? And he even told me, like, I have a copy of my affidavit and everything. He says, you have a case. He says, your rights were violated, are being violated. I guarantee you you have a case. I said, well, that's the thing is once I started saying, like, if it comes down to it, I'm filing that. I said, because this is bullshit. You have, when he told me, he said, where's the abuse? Where is the actual proof of the abuse, neglect, or the imminent danger? I said, they actually used my past against me, said that TYS was in my life previously. They believed that my clean urine that I gave was tampered with. And because my pupils were dilated and I was shaking, I went from outside to inside. I said, that's common fucking knowledge. I said, and I was shaking because I wanted to fucking curb stomp you. I said, but I still got my son, still changed him, was feeding him. I said, and I didn't even get loud with you fuckers. I said, and how did you even look at my pupils? Because hands weren't close enough because I would have fucking ripped your throats out. So that's why the second
Tiff,
time
this one
around,
yours?
I had to get high because I would have attacked the cops.
What, Darren?
Said, is this one of yours? Renee, come from you?
Oh, she
I
can have
am-
So Renee, tomorrow is your day. What is it? That tomorrow's what is it?
So it's my
What's the hearing?
it's my appeal or my review hearing, but also they're going to determine if they're going to terminate my visitation rights or how it's going to, I guess, just proceed from there. But I'm hoping with everything that we have, especially my drug and alcohol counselor, it hopefully the judge will see like this is bullshit. And then like my fiance said, his speech is going to be where we put everything, very important things in motion and line it up for him so that he sees how he wants to look at the caseworker and be like, so did the lesbians have the top bid for our children? Because it's just very weird that there was 2 other families that would take them, and then all of a sudden they said no. I said, why? Oh, because they thought 2 kids were too much. You told them in the beginning when you called them, and they said yes. So you fucking lied.
I have 5 kids. I can tell you what, 2 kids is nothing, man. Give me 2 all day.
Yep. Yeah.
One of the comments I wanted to address is that Alicia said that pain worse than death, psychologically proven, losing a child with CPS does more damage than losing a child to death. And think about folks that when a child dies, it's horrible, it's tragic, it's painful, but eventually you know that the child is not floating around the cosmos, God knows where, with God knows who, having God knows what done to them. You know, the death is final. And once you get to a point where you've accepted that it's real, you know, you can't change it. You know, you're not getting your kid back. You know, if your child is kidnapped by agents, the child is out there somewhere, and also you're thinking, what are they telling my kid? My kid's probably being told your parent was bad, your parent didn't love you, your parent didn't want you,
right?
And there's nothing you can do about it until we all band together and start, kicking some ass in court, which is what we have to do, and bringing this attention to the powers that be, the elected servants that allow this to happen, and the police and the judges that allow it to happen, and holding them accountable. And one thing very quickly too is when you are dealing with these people, use the right words. Tell them you don't have authority, okay? And again, this is no guarantee they're going to listen to you, but at least they know you know what you're talking about. The word is authority. This is critical. You do not have authority.
The stuff that you tell me, because they took and got into my daughter's laptop or her tablet and changed her email password, recovery, everything. I said, who gave you the authority to give them the authority to touch my belonging? Because it's still my kid. Who gave it to you? I said, that was unlawful. And then they send the tablet back to me, factory reset. I said, who gave you the authority? Because I didn't.
And those, anyone, agents, law enforcement, anyone that deprives you of your God-given and constitutionally protected rights is guilty of acting under color of law. It is deprivation of rights under color of law. Darren, can you put this on the screen if I send you this link?
Sure.
Okay, so let me, in the private chat, I'm going to send you the link here. Pop this up. Every American needs to know this. This is critical, okay? This is U.S. Code 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. And you tell them this. Tell them, if you do this, you are guilty of acting under color of law, deprivation of rights under color of law. If you do this, you are stripped of your judicial immunity, and you can be personally sued in your personal capacity. And I swear to every one of you, that is true. I've verified this. It is absolutely true. Tell them that. Use those words. Quote me verbatim.
Yeah. If you, I hate it because I'm all over the place now. But that is exactly what I need, is something to add into my speech, because at the end of it, it's like, this is facts that I'm giving you. They're giving you hearsay lies. I'm giving you facts.
And as much as possible, try to avoid their discussions. Their discussions are, do you drink? Do you take drugs? Do you get angry? Our discussion is, who the hell are you to kidnap my child? See? I don't need to prove anything to you. I don't need to prove to you whether I drink or smoke pot or whatever. It's none of your damn business. None of your damn business.
My children have been this far, this long, with me raising them, and there's been no problems until them.
Yeah, there you go. Ask him this. Ask him, how many children have you kidnapped who have then gone on to be harmed by the people with whom you placed? How many? What's the number? I want a number.
Oh, so I did. This is something that was big too. And I had to tell the lawyer from Butler about it. So this girl that I know, that from a good friend of mine, she got into a fight with her ex and finally was tired of being abused. She hit him with a tricycle. So she ended up in jail, and he gave the children over to CYS, the same county, CYS.
With a tricycle.
She hit him upside the head with a tricycle. She got out like 2.5 months later. Nothing drug wise, but still did drug and alcohol, did parenting classes, did everything. The only thing she did not have, she had a job, car, everything, was a place of her own. They terminated her rights. So her 17-year-old daughter and 12-year-old daughter right now and her 10-year-old son are all in the same foster home in Armstrong County. They call her up and ask her if she wants her 17-year-old, because there's nobody else that would want him. You want your daughter back? She says, well, fucking right. I want my daughter back. 12-year-old must become a nuisance or something. You want your daughter back? Yep, now she's got the 12-year-old. 12-year-old comes home. She has burns all up and down both of her arms from the foster parent. She told CYS. They showed him. 17-year-old even admitted to the abuse and shit, because the male was trying to make pornos with her. And she said no. That's why she got thrown out. They said to her, "We're not here for that. What the fuck are you here for?"
Let me tell you something.
Wow.
My lawyer called me at work. We had court the next day. She said, meet me in my office. I said, oh shit, okay. I go there. The first thing she says to me, now mind you, I just got out of prison and just got off parole. Okay, and it wasn't no petty crime. It was a federal crime. Anyway, she said, Tiffany, before I tell you this, you have to promise me. I mean, she made it very clear. I had to promise her I would not retaliate. I said, what is it? She said, you got to promise me. I said, okay, I promise. She said, your daughter was sexually abused in the foster care home, and that's why they hid it from you. I lost my shit. Do you hear me? I told that judge before I went to prison, if anything happened to my kids while they were in the care of their father, I was coming for her. When I went to court the next day, I told that judge, I said, do you remember me? She said, oh yeah, I remember you. I said, okay. Didn't I tell you if anything happened to my kids while I wasn't around, I was going to start with you first? They threw me out of the courtroom because let me tell you, I was going to jump that bench. I was going to choke that judge. She signed the fucking order.
Yeah. You fucking signed it. You did that. That's on you. You fucking deserve what comes to you.
And this is what I told my lawyer. I said, you didn't need to have me promise you. I couldn't tell you what these people look like to save my life. But I will tell you this, when my kids get old enough and they remember who these people are, they'll be adults then. I can't make that promise once they're adults. They better hope I never, ever, ever run into them. Ever.
Isn't it crazy that all these kids are going to these places and they're automatically getting thrown into these situations? Like more often than not, these
Yeah.
kids are being thrown into these bad homes.
That's what
And
every day I say.
my son was physically abused. They said he fell off a bunk bed, right? That's why he wasn't at the visit. My son grew up and told me, I didn't fall off the bunk bed. They threw me off the bunk bed. He was 3.
Wow. My son wrecked his scooter twice. Oh, even his teacher called the child line because he had a very weird mark inside his ear where she said that he wrecked his scooter and the handle hit him. Like, she's like, oh, no. How did it get up in? Like, she's like, it looks weird to me. And then I got a letter from that county's CYS stating that it was unfounded. Now he's got elbow braces and all that, and yet he wrecked his scooter again. Then the last time we were supposed to have a video call or see them, she stated that he was playing with a big stick and fell on it. So it cut him underneath his left eye, but up his left back of his leg. That was a big bendy fucking stick then.
If that had been you, CPS would have removed those children out of your care.
Yep.
When my son's leg was swollen, severely swollen for 3 days, they would have been gone. Gone.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Medical neglect.
Yep. And that's what I said. I said, that is medical neglect. I said, I don't even do that. I go crazy. If my son coughs 2 days in a row, we are on the fucking video appointment. And does he need to be seen? Like, I don't give a shit. And they tried to get me that with that in the beginning that he wasn't up to date with his shots. And my doctor's office even said when they're that sick, because he was like sick for 3 months straight.
They won't give him shots.
And she's like, Renee, it says right here you refused them. I said, no, I fucking didn't. I said, I would never, if they're the ones that are mandatory and they're regular that my daughter's already had. No, I did not refuse them. She says it right here. The nurse says it. So at my doctor's office, I told him, I said, you better find it. I said, you better fucking talk to that nurse, because even on my app, it says that they were administered that day and they weren't. And she's telling CYS that I refused them. I said, you better fucking figure that out real quick. I said, because I'm going to get her.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
she don't
true.
look good no more.
If they have a cold, they have the flu, they got a runny nose, they got an ear infection, they will not give them shots. Absolutely not.
Yep. And that's what the doctor said to me. He says he was that sick. We won't give him shots. I said, well, CYS is trying to act like I neglected him. And he's like, oh, no. I said, well, one of your nurses made it out like that too. I said, so you better fucking talk to her. Well, she don't work there no more.
And that's what I tell people, man. You got to have a good rapport with these people because you never know when you're going to need them. Like the school, oh, Miss Spies, we love you. Yeah, I know you do because I told you I was going to sue your ass if you fucked up. The doctor's office, they know what I do. Today we were there because one of them had a physical and they're talking about medicating him. I said, absolutely not. We're not medicating him for ADHD. That's a crutch. Now, we'll talk about it in the future. Let's see what goes on. And I said, and I've already told the school, go ahead and call CPS if you think that you're in charge of King, because you're not. And the doctor was like, oh, no. We don't do that over here. And I said, well, that's great. Because I'm a parent advocate and I'll put your ass all over YouTube and blast you, is what I told her.
Well, that's why I said I had told the caseworker before, I said, keep fucking with me. I said, because once you get me on that bad side, I said, that's it. I said, I'm not going to stop. I do not quit. I said, I will make sure you can't even collect fucking welfare. I said, I'm not joking. I said, you will fucking have nothing. I said, one way or the other, you will have nothing. And I even told the caseworker too, I bitched. I said, I hope you never have kids. I said, because you don't fucking deserve any.
Well, I got some good news today. I heard the other 5,000. Now, all 10,000 social workers here in Virginia have been fired.
Oh,
let's see if they go and their friends give them benefits.
yeah, yeah. That's fucking awesome. That's
Yep,
awesome.
all 10,000.
Oh,
All
oh my god.
10,000 caseworkers in Virginia were fired?
Yes,
Wow.
Wow.
they fired 10,000 a couple or 5,000 a couple months ago, and they just did the other 5,000 within the last 2 months.
Wow.
But we have 120 social service offices here. We have more
Oh,
than anybody in the nation.
we only have one, and our county is so tiny. Like, there's Pittsburgh area of Pennsylvania, Allegheny and Westmoreland, and our little tiny county is more corrupt than either one of those. I said, how the fuck does that
I
work?
used to live in Pittsburgh. Huh.
Yeah,
The
yep.
next state that has 100 is North Carolina. Virginia tops the nation with social service offices. In Virginia is 120, North Carolina is 100, and then they go down from there. Look it up, Darren. Well, you should know that because you were on that meeting with me. It's right there, and they pulled it right up. Virginia's got 120 offices. They're broke up into 12 districts, and yeah, 5,000 got fired within the last 2 months, and the other 5,000 a couple months ago. So
which one did you say that was asking for a raise? They were asking for raises?
Yeah, Virginia. And Danielle said, hell no, you're not getting a raise.
Well, see, my caseworker in January, she was the head of the one-day strike that they had. She says that they were underworked or understaffed and underpaid. I said, so at $16 an hour, I said, you have a GED and everything, you have a degree. I said, but you wanted me at first, a single mother that would not make that much, to get my own place, paid child care, everything. But yet you're saying on the news to everybody that kids can't even come out of college anymore. They gotta live with their parents and blah, blah, blah. And you work 3 jobs. But one is your own fucking business because you like to decorate parties and weddings. Keep fucking decorating, you fucking weirdo.
Wow. This is
They
how
got
I
a raise.
see it.
They got a raise. I said, none of you fuckers deserve it.
Well, they should all get a raise now, and the state's probably going to have to pay for it because they just fired 10,000 of them. So you saved all that money. You want these people to get You want these people to get raises, then you pay them because RFK said you're not getting no raise. Thank you, Danielle.
Let us always remember, this is important, America. Hear me on this. There's no such thing as state funds. There's no such thing as federal funds.
You're right.
It's our money. They're taking our money out of our pockets and then graciously deciding they might give some back to us, or they're going to use our money to do something and then guilt us to tell us, well, if we do this, it's going to cost state money, or there's state money available, blah, 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 blah. Never, ever follow their paradigms. It's our fucking money, taxpayer money.
Yeah, and you know what? I know that because I just said this last night. I said we're paying these motherfuckers to steal our kids. We're paying these fucking judges. We're paying for the courthouse and the electric and all that shit they're fucking using. That shit's our house, not theirs.
That's right.
I get paid in cash under the table, so they don't get my shit. Fuck you. I said, no, you ain't getting my shit. I said, figure it out some other way. I'm not helping you. I said, I'll help you fucking bury yourselves. That's it.
There's no more corrupt organizations on this planet than the governments of our states, counties, and our country. They are virtually entirely corrupt. They have been for years, for decades, and there's no less trustworthy organizations on the planet. They're criminal terrorist organizations. Truth.
Yep, not one of them has ever told me the fucking truth or anything. So, I mean, now this judge, he has 5 kids. And the cop did tell me, he says, every time he's been in there, he's like, he will watch like the facial expressions. That is one of my big concerns because last time he was saying how they're there to help me and the kids and resources. I'm going, he's like, you're shaking your head. No, I said, and that's why I came back in the courtroom and I said, tell him the fucking truth about what resources and shit and what help you give us. I said, all you're doing is fucking traumatizing us and ripping us the fuck apart. I said, so
I got that problem when my mouth doesn't say, my whole body says.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my foot just starts shaking. I'm like, and I'm bouncing in the seat. I'm like, yeah. I said, you motherfuckers. Yeah,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
but yeah.
Passion flower. Listen, passion flower. Okay, if you got a
Yeah.
GNC or go to Walmart or whatever, passion flower. It's a mood stabilizer, and CBD gummies with no THC. I'm telling you, it works because it just keeps me so. If I took that and came on this show, you'd be like, "What the hell is she on?"
Mm. I
I'm
was.
so mellow.
I said I don't have anything that calms me down. I said the worst thing is like this whole time, every single day, I have to wake up and try to actually function because I don't know how to not be a mom. I don't like my house fucking quiet. I don't like not hearing my kids argue or fight and then play and laugh. Like I I am addicted to my son's smile. The first time he ever said, "Help me, mommy," just playing with his sister, I said, "Oh my god, the first person that hurts you is so fucked." I said, he like my heart just melted. I'm like, okay. I said, and my daughter is my miracle baby, and she is my best fucking friend, best friend. And she's like, "But I'm your daughter." I said, "But you're my best friend." I said, "You are the everything to me." I said, "So is your brother." I said, "But you are everything to me." I said, "So waking up every fucking day and not being able to hear them, see them, nothing fucking kills me."
What time is your court hearing?
9:15 in the morning, but I am going up at 8:30 to meet with my attorney because the paperwork she printed out and that I printed out, I starred important papers, and she's like, "Well, let's see if they match up," and I was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea."
Well, why don't we do our live with you coming on so you can tell us how your court date went?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do
yeah,
So
that.
definitely.
you text one of us and let us know that you're done, and we'll go live. Just hopefully before 3 o'clock.
It will be. I'm usually it's always like 15, 20 minutes, but I was like, no, that ain't happening this time. I said, my fiance's speaking. I'm fucking speaking. I've got a couple of different friends coming that have known me forever and years. My one client, but she's like a second mom to me now. And I said that you can ask any one of them, what kind of mother I am, and I'm allowed to freak out and be pissed off because they're mine. I gave birth to them. I had the sleepless nights. I did everything.
If I were there, okay, I would say, I wouldn't say anything about the quality of your parenting, but rather I would say to everyone in the courtroom, by what authority do you kidnap this woman's child? And you either have it, and I want you to tell me you have it, and then show me how it was delegated to you, or you fucking admit you don't have it, in which case you're all felons, and I want you all arrested.
Yeah,
But I
see
won't be
that
there with
now
this.
that's kind of that's what I want my attorney to say because like she's young and whatnot. She can do a quick come up. I mean, she's part of a good law firm, but it's like you could bust this
Okay.
all out. She's like, this is the hardest case
Well,
I've ever had.
I'm gonna throw something in on behalf of your attorney here. Even though I don't know your attorney, I assume the best about people, but we have to remember that these attorneys are part of a deeply corrupt system, and they don't know it is until they get involved. Just like the Masons, no one knows that they look and act like they're so noble and altruistic and helpful, and they say all the right things, and they, you get in there and they tell you how great it is and how we all aspire to be, and if you're really good and you do well, someday you might get to be a judge, and everyone's. Well, when you take on that system, this is a David versus Goliath. Because as soon as you start making the right noises, as soon as you stand up to a judge in court and start quoting the law, ask the judge a few things. You want to see a judge get mad? Here's what you do. The first thing you do is when they say, "Are you ready?" you say, "No." Like, whoa, what? Full stop. What? No. I have some questions. Number one, is this a court of record? This is important. Is everything we're saying right now being recorded in some way? Okay, yes or no? Number two, when you got your office as a judge, did you swear an oath? Yes or no? Okay, number three, and they say yes, hopefully. Some do not, America, I want you to know this. They're sleazy right now. They're doing all the sleaziest things they can do. And this is in various political positions, judges who are all supposed to swear an oath. Guess what? They're not doing the oath. They just skip it behind the scenes, right? And they just put them in there so that now they haven't sworn an oath. And if push comes to shove and they're backed into a corner, they can go, you know what? No, I didn't swear an oath. But assuming the preponderance of them have, and you ask them that question, did you swear an oath? They have to say yes. The third question you ask them is, what was the oath you swore? Make them say it. All right. Again, no guarantees of success. You're in a corrupt system. You're swimming with the sharks. You can punch the fuckers in the nose, and it will certainly have an impact. It does not mean you're going to escape getting your legs bitten off, but it improves your chances dramatically. So when you get into court, if you're ever there, do those 3 things before you even start.
Yeah.
I also heard that you know how they say all rise, and then the deputy has to say that everybody rose or whatever, and if somebody doesn't rise, they have to report that too. Is that true?
I don't know that it's true that they have to report it, but I do know that it is established as something you quote unquote have to do, must do, but you don't. I know this for a fact. I know many people who have been to court who don't stand up when they say all rise. So, and you will stand out. Believe me, they'll notice you when you do this. Believe me. So, but in reference to your lawyer, Renee, your attorney, remember that she's in a very, very difficult spot. She will experience harsh personal repercussions if she starts bucking the system. If she starts speaking the truth like I just did, believe me, she will immediately be getting a lot of pressure. Her phone will be ringing, and she'll be hearing things like, hey, we don't want to do this, and we'll think about what's best for the whole industry, and whatever their bullshit reasons are to try to pressure her. And it will graduate to coercion. People that do this, it feels good at the time, but you may not have the best career to look forward to after blah, blah, blah. See, that's what they do. So be patient with her. And if she's working with you, keep doing it.
She's in the same county as the shark lawyer that we talked to. And he even says, you want to know why this shit with CYS doesn't happen here? I said, why? He says, because we're here. He says, I don't give a shit who I piss off. He says, I'm filing suits on judges, other lawyers. He says, I don't give a shit.
I love this guy. That's what we have to do. That will work. It does work. And every time I try to rally support for any cause like yours and Darren's and Tiff's, I say, if we all take a little action, everyone get off your fat, lazy, overfed American ass and do something, okay? Yeah. We will see success.
Sit in a lawn chair and hold a fucking sign.
Yes. But there's always some yahoo, some brainless twat is immediately available to leap up and tell me, oh, no, that's wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. Just that won't. We don't care. No one. Blah, blah, blah,
That's why I fuck with this one attorney, and I send everybody to him, right? Because he's like, Tiffany, I love you. You're so cutthroat. You just go right for the juggler. And he said, and then when you send people to me and they're like, oh, yeah, my other lawyer told me I had to do this because CPS. He said, why the fuck are they talking to the enemy? What the hell is wrong with these attorneys?
Well done. That's why they hate when you tell the truth. That's why people get off. They start freaking out and go, no, don't make a fuss. So Andrew Bradson says, everyone do what you can do. That's what I'm saying. Write letters. Write to your governor. If every man in America, every man and woman in America right now sat down and wrote a letter to their governor. Yes, I know they're corrupt. Gavin Newsom does not give a rat's ass what you have to say to him, California. But we pretend it will matter, and we pretend that he is the guy he pretends to be, who actually does care about the opinions of his constituents. And you write him a letter and you say, I'm very concerned about some of the things going on in my state. So I've written to Janet Mills, but it doesn't matter because I doubt she would ever read it, and her minions who read it immediately put it on the do not read pile because this guy's clearly, not a fan of yours and not with the program. So, but the point is, it carries weight, and the more people that do it, the more weight it carries, and eventually it gets to a point where they can't ignore it because everyone knows that it's happening. Everyone sees these letters. Everyone talks to their neighbors and their friends and says, I wrote a letter. Did you write a letter? I wrote a letter too. Did you hear back? No, I haven't heard anything back. And now everyone starts going, okay, wait a minute now. And then the news gets involved. If it gets big enough, even the mainstream media can't ignore it. They have to pay attention to it because everyone already sees it. It's like walking into the room with the fat naked emperor in the middle of the damn crowd. And everyone's going, I know we're all going to pretend that he's got this wonderful set of clothes on, but I just don't see this anymore. Everyone's looking around. Everyone's on the same page. We're all going, nah, that bastard's naked. Child Protective Services is a child trafficking network. And we all see it, and the number of people that don't see it now is very small. The people that have never been involved, never known anyone that was involved, never talked to anyone that had their child kidnapped by agents. Those people maybe are unaware, but even they are hearing it. RFK came right out and said there are, what did he say, 500,000? There's 500,000 children that entered the Child Protective Services program system that are now unaccounted for, lost. No one knows where they are.
Right? Fell through the cracks somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. So get involved, write the letters, make the phone calls, be nice, be diplomatic. Okay, don't. If you like my words, great. If you like Tiff's words, great. But you don't necessarily have to echo our anger. That's not necessarily helpful.
I am a constitutional American. I said that is one of my picket signs. I don't give a fuck. I said that right there. I said I fucking love it. That's one of my signs. And I've told people before that the lady that got her kids back, she's like, how did you find all this out? I said, late night, not being able to sleep. I said, I ran into Gunner. I said, found him just out of nowhere, just searching different shit. I said, and then Tiff and Darren, I said, I did not know it was like this. I said, nobody. I said, and this is the thing. I said, we are citizens that vote. I said, so it starts from us. I said, if we put our bodies out there, I said, I don't give a fuck. I am louder than anybody. I said, unless you put me in jail, I will be there every day screaming. I said, you're going to fucking hear us. More bodies will show up. Somebody's going to get a fire lit under their ass.
Yeah. And I've told this to Darren a few times when we were just live streaming together before Tiff came on. And we talked about the fact that if we are able to achieve a few small victories, right? One judge gets impeached, right? One agent gets sent to prison. It can have a domino effect. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the victories to start. As soon as one comes, everyone sees we can do it. It's possible. We can hold these people accountable. That's what I want to see. That's why I'm here.
Yep. That's hopefully it's coming. I will not stop, and I will keep at it. I don't even care. And then that's why I had said before, it's not even just for my kids anymore. Now that I know, I'm like, nobody's kids deserve this shit.
Yeah, your kids are effectively mine. That's what I told Darren the first time I met Darren. First thing I said to him, I have not had a child that was kidnapped by agents, but if it can happen to your child, it can happen to mine, and that is unfucking acceptable. No, hell no. So if I got to help you to make sure my child is safe, I'll do it. Truth is, I would help Darren even if it weren't possible for my child to have this happen to them, because it's just not right. Yeah. It's reprehensible. It's morally reprehensible.
Decent human beings, there's none of those around anymore. And I'm just like, I don't care if you hurt a child physically, mentally, sexually, or an elderly, you deserve a bullet in your fucking head because you're disgusting. That's just beyond. I can't. I hate it. I hate it. And everybody's like, oh, that's so horrible to say. No, it's not. This is why our world is the way that it fucking is.
Yep.
They have a litter box in my niece's fucking school. I said, because of a child that identifies as a cat. I said, get the fuck out of here.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And let me tell you about that. My sister called me, and she was like, Tiffany, go in the school bathroom and make sure that suicide hotline is not up in there. Because once you call that suicide hotline, because she did it, it sends you to a website called Trevor Space, and it's a fucking pedophile website.
Good Lord.
So she told her husband, who's the senator, and he started looking into it. Now the whole fucking state of Delaware is mad at him because he wants that shit out of the school.
Well, yeah, what the fuck? Oh.
I wish I thought I will tear every side. I will walk in every hall bathroom. I will rip that shit right out. But they already know I'll tear the school down. I don't care. I'll be on
Yeah.
the 5 o'clock news.
Yeah. I'm an
This
arsonist. I don't
crazy
give a fuck.
lady. Oh, don't say that, girl. Please don't say that.
I
No,
know.
no, 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 no. We don't want not with me on here. Did you hear what she
Right.
said?
Well, that's what I said. I told my ex before, I said, I will screw every door and window closed after I take my daughter out. I said, and listen to you
I'm glad
fucking
you
scream.
said window and door.
Yeah. Every window and door will get screwed, and then it will be lit on fire, and I will listen to you scream. I don't give a shit. I said, fight me. Fuck with me.
Well, I want to know what happens in court, so
Yes,
you let
ma'am.
us know, either me or Darren, so we can
I
go
will.
live
Yeah,
tomorrow.
we'll get on.
Oh, but that Becca, what's her name, is coming on at 1 tomorrow. So we got to do it before 1 or before 3.
Yeah, I'm more than likely 9:15. Usually it starts quick, but I'd say at least I tell everybody already. I said if you don't hear from me from 11:30, call the jail or see if I'm already on a killing spree.
You sound like
All
me.
right. We'll see you then, Renee.
So,
Good luck,
all right,
Renee.
thanks,
Wish you
guys.
the best, Renee. I'm going to pray for you tonight, and I pray for your success. And I feel your anger. I really, really, truly believe me. No one's angrier than me. I'm telling you that. So I appreciate what you're saying, and I wish you all the best. Remember the words that I told you, and use them. I mean, you're obviously not shy about speaking what you need to say. So God bless you for that. The truth is the sword of God, Renee.
Well, I'm gonna have to redo this video so that I can record it, so I can hear it all again. Because I'm telling you, shit just goes out. I'm like, damn it, I can't write fast enough. But yes, thank you.
It's on YouTube. It's on
All right,
YouTube.
Renee. Have a good night.
So just check under Darren's channel on YouTube, and you'll see the video, and you can go back and
Yeah, we're here all the time.
see exactly what
We're
I said.
going to be here forever.
I love that.
Oh my God! If I had to go to
We're
court with
always
her
here.
tomorrow, I would have to take like 3 passion flowers and like 4 CBD gum. That's how much I got to take when I got to go to court for myself. Because I'm telling you right now, no, you're not disrespecting me. You weren't taking shit from me.
Oh man, Gina, I'm glad to see that
Yeah,
you're
we
okay.
was worried
thank
about you.
Yeah, no, I was. It's been a lousy day, and I had all sorts of communication problems. I had an important podcast today with a guy from California running for governor. I was really excited about it. My camera stopped working, and my laptop. I went on a trip, and things didn't go the way they were supposed to, and my phone ran out of juice. Oh man, it's been that's what happens every time you try to do something important for the cause of good, for the cause of humanity. Shit starts failing. This happens to me all the time.
You didn't even touch anything. You didn't even move anything. It's worked every goddamn time.
The last time I used my camera, it worked fine. I did a live stream with Coach Dave Bobenmeyer, the hardcore right-wing Christian Bible thumper. Then talked about Dr. Paul Goslin. Everything went fine. And then, like I said, today I got a phone call from my guest. I fired up my computer. Doesn't see the camera. As far as my laptop is concerned, it doesn't have a camera. I had to get this external camera here and plug it in. And I'm telling you, man, it's a war. We're at war, and the dark powers are really
little men
strong.
that pay attention to what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, if you do frivolous stuff, it works fine. But as soon as you want to do something really important that might make a difference, things stop working.
Shit, they've attacked our emails and our website all at one time, mine and Darren's.
I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised at all, because they're strong in the cyber realm. The dark powers, evil overlords, minions, henchmen. That's why I think about this. Like, I just got on my computer Windows 11, and when Windows 11, if you go to the bottom left corner where normally your menu is, your start menu is with all your applications, it pops up a bunch of advertisements, and they moved the start menu over slightly to the right. Why would they do that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like moving a steering wheel in a car.
It was
exactly.
Fine, right?
It worked perfectly, and they did it because they like to confuse you, muck up the works. Mm-hmm. Because information is power, knowledge is power, and this tool, this internet, and this ability for you and I and Tiff to sit here and have this conversation, and have anyone who wants to log in and listen and decide for themselves if we're paranoid, delusional conspiracy theorists, or if we're just righteously pissed off constitutional Americans. Mm-hmm. and not listen to the Ministry of Propaganda / mainstream media. So they don't want us using this tool. They don't want us to have power in this realm because it works against them. So all the more reason for us to keep pursuing it. And by the way, Darren, I admire your pluck, my brother. I really do. Your courage, your diligence. You know, because a lot of people go through tough times, and they sort of give up, right? They become despondent, and they, you know, nothing you can do about it, and drink themselves into a coma. You're your front line every day, brother, and you're a freaking genius, man. The stuff you come up with blows my mind, truly. So,
Thanks,
God bless
buddy.
you. Keep it up.
Speaking of coming up with something, did you see the new Angry Citizen shirt?
Yes.
No,
I
you haven't.
didn't
I just
pull
made
it
it.
up.
Wait. Oh, did you? You
I
sent
did.
me a link, but okay. Yeah. Look, show me.
Let me get it up here. Hold on.
Oh, I'm loving this.
Check this one out. Let me put the 3D thing up here. This one's pretty awesome. I might order us one of these, Tiff.
Okay. What we need to do is figure out what's going to happen and who's going to drop off, and then
Look
put
at
a
this.
whole. Oh, damn! I like that.
Yeah, I made an Angry
That's really
Citizen.
cool.
Let me see if how do I show the back of it? It says the front is this, and then the back. Let me see if it's a football jersey too.
That's
On the back it
freaking
says
crazy,
your rights
dude.
are mine and mine are yours, and it's got a picture
Wow.
of the Capitol building blowing up. Where's the back of it? Why can't I see the back of it? Let me see. If we go to the mock-ups, I might be able to do it. Sorry.
Well, scroll down and click on the little thumbnails below the main pic.
There we go. Let's see. Show me there. Generate mock-ups.
I hope this
The
is
one-
with a whole new company.
These shirts are great.
When is our order coming in?
Oh, I just ordered them. Remember the other day, the new stuff?
Darren,
It
someone's
was-
asking
I
in
haven't seen the
the
shirts.
chat. Someone's asking about your bill. It says read Darren's bill.
Oh, did you read my bill?
I didn't know you had a bill. This is news to me. That's why
I had
I'm
one for
glad
3 years,
that,
actually. Why is this not coming up?
I don't know. Operator error would be my guess.
Oh, why is it when it
Well,
happens to me, it's operator error, but when it happens to everybody else, the government did it? Jesus Christ. Darren does it, he screws up. Everybody else does it. The government came in and ruined the computer.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
Oh my. Oh my.
Oh
But
my!
yeah, I'm glad that you made it, Dana. And yeah, I will send you my bill.
Thanks, man.
It's
I
gonna be
just sent
$100.
it to I just sent it to my committee I'm working with in Richmond, the legislators and all that. I said, this is what we need to be doing.
Yeah.
Good.
This is
Yeah,
really
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It's gonna be. I'm excited for it. You know what? I left it alone for so long. I was just like, you know what the hell? It's never gonna amount to anything. And then now all these
Darren,
people
the
are
only-
like, wait a minute.
You didn't leave
This
your
is just
name
as
on
good
it.
as- There we go. There we go. Now we can see it. See, it just takes me a second, guys. I just need a second. Stop screen sharing.
I mean, if the bill is good, we
Here
should
we
definitely
go.
hype it up.
This is
I'll
Dana's
bring you on. I'll bring you on my stream. We'll talk about it. And I'm at the point. I've actually warned a lot of the people in the legislature here in Maine that I'm going to be sending some letters and being very loud. And I plan to do that. And I'm going to share my letters with everybody. And if you like what I say and you want to send a letter that says the same thing, you know, if it gives you the words you need to say the message you want to say, good.
Check those out.
I like that.
Loving that, bro. Loving it.
Yeah. So you can get those on the website. I'll have those up there tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, I think they're badass. I will rock one.
Sweet. I
And
appreciate it. brother.
then you need to make one of all the people on the shows and put cpsbreakingnews.com on them.
Well, funny that you say this, Tiff, because I want you guys to see this one more thing before you leave. Let me show you this picture I've been working
What a
on.
great segue. Thanks, Tiff. Nice.
Yeah, that was
Sure.
very good. You didn't even. That wasn't even
Unprompted.
on purpose. That was very good, Tiff. You know, we do this all. This is all. We don't ever talk about what we're going to do. Literally, we do not talk about a thing. We just go. For real. It's like, what do you want to talk about? I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Well, better figure it out. We got 7 minutes.
And somehow we do. Somehow the three of us find something to talk about.
Like this, Tiff? Like this here?
Yes.
There you go. Loving it. Wow.
So all I have now is I got to add
Becca.
yeah, I got to put Becca in here and I got to put Henry in here.
Yep.
And then we'll be ready to
Love
rock.
it.
But yeah, it's got all the different logos I've ever made, all the things I've ever done, all of our cartoon characters that are here now, and then yeah, put Becca and Henry on here, and we'll be rocking and rolling.
Love it.
Yep.
Good work.
So yeah, look at that, Tiff. We're on the
Yes,
same
we
page.
are. That's because we're both cancers. 8 years
Yep.
and 1 day apart.
All right, guys. This was a 2-hour special tonight, brought to you by the Angry Citizen coming in late.
Thanks. I appreciate that shout out, brother.
Yeah. No, thank you for being here,
Yeah,
buddy.
because we really were
I
worried
can do it.
I
about
really
you.
love it. We were. I was calling.
I know.
was very much
My
calling.
phone was ringing in the car, and the problem was my battery was telling me it had 11% left, and so I had to really balance. And I didn't want to leave you hanging, so I pulled over really quick and I fired off that text to you and said, "I'm on my way home. Be home in like 2 minutes." I said, "I got low battery power." That said it, and I was like, "Phew!" So.
Sweet. Well, guys, we'll do the random surprise show tomorrow. And Angry Citizen will be back next Thursday. And we'll be back next week, regular time, for tomorrow's surprise show. Have a good night, everybody.
This is the Tiff and the Punisher podcast. Now joined by the Angry Citizen. This is a powerful trio. Set out to spread the Constitution. This is a powerful trio. Set out to stop the evil CPS.
We won't stand for corruption, and we won't stand for stealing kids. This is the Tiff and the Punisher podcast.